am smart. I don't want to brag, but I was varsity quiz bowl. Someone from my high school was here tonight. He can vouch for it. Yes. That's sadly not a joke. It's 100% true. This is embarrassing. I was a walk-on to my high school quiz bowl team. They used to handpick people for the quiz bowl team. They didn't want us. They didn't want me and my brother. We had to walk on. And the reason we had to walk on was terrible. They didn't want us because we were like street trivia. That's where we learned our trivia. Like on the playgrounds. That's how we throw down. Yeah. Oh, man. People would come up to us on the playground like, who was Pope during World War II? We'd be like, Pius the 12th. Bitch! Hang the Omega on him, rock the rim, you know? Like, you guys can't be on the team, you're crazy! And we're like, no, we're showing up for practice every single day, no matter what. And after like 3 weeks, they're like, you know what, you kids you got some crazy, you can be on our team, come on. And we took that team, they were so white bread and straight-laced, and we shook them up. We took them all the way to the top. We're answering questions between the legs, behind the back, all the way to the top. We win Pennsylvania State Quiz Bowl Championships 1994, Pencrest High School, best day of my life. There was a small parade. Me and my brother in a wagon getting pulled up and down the driveway, but it was a parade. My sub-definitions. Man, radio flyer, that's how we roll. I quit. I'm getting out at the top. I'm like, it's not getting better than this. I will sit in a bar and listen to Glory Days the rest of my life. I don't give a shit, right? I'm done. The story gets a little sad now, I'm not gonna lie. My brother Dave stays in, and he gets recruited by Penn State. And, big time collegiate quiz bowl. And you guys know the pressure that's on a college athlete. You can't lose a match. You know, one match and your season's done. You're over with. And so he couldn't take the pressure, and he started to cry. He was 19. He started popping the ginkgo biloba. I'm sure he got addicted. Once you're an addict, you start digging that hole deeper and deeper and deeper. He was thousands and thousands of dollars in debt, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And these bookies drifted into town. Like, hey man, we heard you got a little money problem, we're going to take care of it. You got to do something for us. It's like, well, what do I got to do? So we want you to do a little point shaving, throw a couple matches. He had to do it. He didn't have a choice. He was so bad. He was ringing in for math questions going like, George Washington! He was just bad. He got caught. Took away his scholarship, kicked him out of school, ruined his life. Now he spends every single day getting drunk, trying to forget. But that's the thing about ginkgo biloba. You can't forget. That's pretty retarded, huh? Yeah. That's the bar I'm trying to clear. If I can clear autistic, I'll be all set. I am kind of smart. I'm not as smart as I used to be. You forget stuff very quickly if you don't use it. My nephew the other day wanted me to help him with his math homework and quadratic equations. It makes sense that he asked me. I was wearing my tracksuit from Quiz Bowl at the time. And, varsity jacket, my mortarboard, which I never leave home with that. And he asked me to help me on his quadratic equations homework. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. And you look at it, and you realize that sometime between high school and today, the part of my brain that knew quadratic equations died. And not like a pleasant death, like it would be an open casket funeral. Like blood on the highway is splattered across 4 lanes, dead. Nothing is left, and it's sad. You tell yourself that you're never going to need this stuff, but the truth is, you don't know. You don't. It's kind of sad. I visited my uncle in the nursing home the other day. He's a veteran of the Spanish-American War. I think we should support the troops. That's all I'm saying. Let the Rough Riders roll. So I went to visit him, and it was just a typical nursing home visit. I talked to him. How you doing, Uncle? And he's like telling me a little bit about my life, and then he spends the next 10 minutes yelling about how Asian people are trying to steal our jobs. And I tried to explain to him that racist old guy isn't a job that Asian people would want to steal. So So he was probably okay on that front. You know, he's just take a chill pill. But he just starts getting more worked up and just angry and angry, and his face gets redder and redder, and he worked himself into this frenzy, and all of a sudden he started grabbing at his heart. He's like, oh my God, I'm having an attack. I need my medicine. And I said, well, where are your pills? And he's like, they're on the nightstand. So I wrote to grab his pills. I said, well, how many pills do you need? He said, I need X pills. If 4x squared plus 3x equals 7. I couldn't do the math. My uncle died. The ironic thing is, if I was Asian, I probably could have done the math. It's a quadratic equation. A squared plus bx equals c. And if you graph it, it makes a picture of a man sitting alone in a basement watching Battlestar Galactica. Pretty cool, huh? I like that stuff. I used to be really good at math. I used to be really good at science. You guys want a fun science fact?
Yes.
Yeah, sure you do. It's an educational show. Fun science fact. If you take a human brain and unravel it and try to stretch it from New York to Los Angeles, you will go to jail. Right, so you sick bastard! I like science. Science can be tough, though. That can be tough to understand. I try to obey most of the laws of physics whenever possible. And it's tough, though. My nephew did the same thing. He was trying to ask for help with his physics homework, and he was working on this project, Newton's third law. You guys familiar with it? It's for every action there's a equal and opposite reaction, right? You see, and it seems like a pretty simple concept. But have you ever tried to explain it to like an 11-year-old kid?
No.
It's almost impossible. And he's like, hey, well, how does this work? How does a rocket fly? I'm like, oh, well, a rocket. What happens is the rocket pushes down on the ground, and then the ground pushes up on the rocket, and that's what makes the rocket fly. And he's like, well, how does the ground push up on the rocket? It's like, well, what you're not understanding is that the rocket's pushing down, and then what the ground does is it pushes with the Jesus makes rockets fly. He rides his magical unicorn and carries them along to the stratosphere. At which point Buddha takes over, because that's mostly his turf. And that's why my nephew had to repeat the fourth grade. It's a happy story. For every action, there are other ways of explaining it, which I was thinking about it more. There's every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's like when you fire a gun. There's like kickback. Or if you are sitting in like one of those office chairs with wheels and you have a fire extinguisher and you shoot the fire extinguisher, you are immediately asked to leave Staples. And you'll be like, but I'm a scientist. And they're like, well, don't scientists wear pants? By the way, you're paying for that chair. Well, we know who came up with that. Sir Isaac Newton, right? Yeah. Sir Isaac Newton came with that rule. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, which is why I firmly believe that Sir Isaac Newton never asked a teenage black girl to be quiet in a movie theater. For the record, the black people are laughing. All right? Thank you. Thank you very much. Excuse me, Sir Isaac Newton? Excuse you! What you do with the purse? I need to discover gravity. It'd be awesome! That's cool. I dig on that. I think everyone, you know, we can joke about these things. That's nice that we can all laugh about them. Honestly, I think everyone's born a little bit racist. Just like everyone is born a little bit gay and a little bit addicted to OxyContin, right? Who's with me? Yeah, right. There you go. The OC, all right?
It is good.
That is, yes.